Hello and welcome to today's LOL Esports Round Up. We're going to cover the news of the last several days. Um, so, if you watch the content the last couple days, it was definitely not my normal stuff, and it was fill-in content. There's been a big blizzard in my area, an area where blizzards are common, but it's the biggest one we've, in some metrics, ever had. So I thought the power might go out, so I made extra videos in case that happened. Power stayed on, but I ended up getting sick. I actually hope that I can make it through this video without having to pause it because I'm coughing my face off. So, um, don't expect like that all the time, but I think, well, it's hard to really tell because the first video almost just started coughing. First video had like 700 plus views, right? Like pretty quickly. So I was surprised by that. But this next video, the second one, which came out Sunday, had like 40 views on it. So just one second, gotta make sure I'm still on the screen here. I don't know if you guys missed it or if you clicked on the first one and was like, this content kind of sucks, which is fine if you think it sucks, and didn't watch the second one. But there was a second part to that. Now, the news. So, SK Treats is officially out. We had known that Exakick and DOS were going to be their bot lane. This meant that Treats had to go. Treats is 26 years old, 291 KDA, 74.4 KP, 8 champions in 18 games last year. Treats is above average. At this point in his career, at his age, seeing him do LEC content with the analyst desk and stuff this past year and during the playoffs made me really be like, that's where this guy is going to end up. And he looked the part there, and I think that is just the best direction for him to take. G2, so G2 announced who is replacing Yankos, Flackid, and Targamas. Now, we knew that these players were going to be there, but, excuse me. Excuse me. We knew these players were going to be there, but it wasn't official till now. So, Yike joins. He is 22 years old, played in LFL last year, 425 KDA, 551 CS per minute, 70 KP, 32.6 kill share, which is massive, 20 gold share, 8 champions in 16 games in EU Masters Summer main event or whatever. So, highest level of play that he was at. Those numbers look good. Right on the dot, right? Because my thresholds actually dropped towards the end of summer because the meta became so dog instead of carry, so people weren't farming as much, so I dropped it down, but it still expected people to get into fights. Well, the guy gets into fights, he farms at a high rate, at a high rate relative to the rest, and that kill share, 32.6, is like super high. That's like a carry kill share. So we'll see how he does. He is definitely the question mark. If you missed my LEC tier list video, I think he is their question mark. Hans Sama joins from TL. 553 KDA, 929 CS per minute, 75.3 KP, 32.8 kill share, which makes sense. He's an 80 carry, 24.9 gold share, 6 champions, 19 games. He's 23 years old. These are stats from the LCS playoffs where he played 4 Seraphine games. I think it was his second most played champ. Definitely struggled under pressure, I felt like, during the playoffs. And it kind of made you think about the Rogue situation the last couple of years where Rogue couldn't get it done in the playoffs. They had great best of ones, couldn't get it done when it mattered. And this past year they did, obviously, going on to quarters at Worlds. And Hans was a player that wasn't there, right? As well as Inspired. But Inspired ended up going to Worlds, right? And MSI, where Hansama went to neither. So, in my opinion, Hans, I think, may have been part of that issue. Now, is that making too much of something? It's possible. But I think that is something G2 and G2 Faithful have to think about. Definitely one of the better players in the West in his role. but this past playoffs in the LCS, he was not up to snuff. Mickey X joins to be his support, returning to G2, 234 KDA, 70.1 KP, 12 champions, 19 games, 24 years old. Definitely one of the better Western supports. Mickey left a lot to be desired in the Enchanter meta. It definitely wasn't him. There were games where he just inted his face off, like he didn't want to even be on the champ, which is not okay, no matter what, in a professional setting. So hopefully he kind of works that out now that he's on a really, really good team and not Excel. Vitality joins. Vitality announces their moves. Photon joins in top lane. Alfari is still under contract but is away. 371 KDA, 86 CS per minute, 60.3 KP, 22.2 kill share, 23.1 gold share, 9 champions, 14 games, 21 years old. These stats occurred at Asia Stars Challenge. That was the highest level of play for the LCK, LPL, PCS, VCS, LJL, I believe, for their Academy and Challenger players. And he did very well. Those stats are nothing to scoff at. He was winning lane more often than not. And the KP is high given the CS per minute. 3 out of every 5 kills. Kill share is pretty standard. Gold share a little higher than normal. We'll see how Photon does. He's definitely the question mark with Vitality as well as Bo. It is what it is. So, former T1 player, they're trying to do what C9 did with Berserker pretty much. Neon is going to replace Neon is going to replace Carsey in the 80 carry role, 508 CS, 508 KDA, 851 CS per minute, 70.7 KP, 30.5 kill share, 24 gold share, 8 champions, 19 games, 23 years old. I am not a big Neon fan. I feel like some people think that, like, don't get me wrong, Carsey was not good. So Neon's an upgrade over Carsey, but I really think that Unforgiven is better than Neon. I think Upset blows Neon out of the water. And the 851 is pretty concerning. And then people are going to say, oh, well, he had a couple Senate games. Yeah, his most played champ was Zeri, and it was like an 849 CS per minute. Like, that's... Zeri, like... I know Wanfang is like the alt, like, Wanfang is like Uziing it out there when it comes to farms sometimes. But his Zeri was like at 11.5. And if you really think about it, if you're gapping somebody by 3 CS per minute, like, you wouldn't think that that is Neon. You'd think that that was like LCS Academy player or a ERL player or something. Like, Neon's numbers aren't great on everything. And I don't know. Neon had some carry moments with Misfits. Excuse me. He had some carry moments with Misfits, but I don't think Vitality are any more solidified than they were last year. I really don't. But I know that's a opinion not liked by many, but that is my take. Kaiser's going to play alongside him. That may help. Kaiser, I think, is a good support. Struggled at Worlds, though. 233 KDA, 60.5 KP, 5 champions in 12 games, 24 years old. Did not get around very much. 3 out of every 5 kills he's involved in, so not very involved. Not making things happen. Not making things happen. Struggling to get out of play-ins is not good. We don't like that. And, Vitality is a better team than he's ever been on probably as well. So, we'll see how that goes for him. Like I said, I think Kaiser's a good player. Just maybe Worlds might be too much for him. Lastly, the head coach is Carter. Carter played for Misfits. He played, but he has only coached Misfits. He went 42-30 the last 2 years. Made the playoffs 3 times. Didn't go to Worlds, didn't go to MSI, but he is going to be their coach. So Carter is the coach, was Misfits coach. We'll see if he's able to wrangle in not only, Perks, Neon, and Kaiser, but also Bo and Photon. Um, Bo being a player that it seems to be is going to be nothing like what Misfits had. So this is going to be definitely something interesting. See how Carter works with Bo and can use Bo to his strengths depending on what the meta is. We'll see. I was hoping to do some team preview videos today and pound them out, but the fact that I didn't make it through this really without having to stop a few times, I'm going to have to push them back, which sucks. I don't want to have to push anything back, but it seems like that might be the case. You guys are going to get pounded with content. I'm not going to not do the content, so you guys are going to get overloaded, which is what it is. So hit the notification bell so you do get notified when the content goes up. There will be playlists for previews and stuff like that for this season. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. There will be a video tomorrow. If it's just me talking like this and doing one team preview, it's going to be that way. Join the Discord. I am there. I can type. Now the computer screen isn't too bad. Twitter, follow me there. I'm going to post links to my content. Last couple days I didn't because I really wasn't, like I said, on the computer. It's too bright. Excuse me. And become a YouTube member. In January, we're going to have new members only content, which we're doing towards the end of summer and at Worlds, where I predict winners for games. I do that the day before. By the way, speaking of that, Demacia Cup finals are tomorrow. Thunder Talk and BLG, I think. So that's Bin versus Hoya and Top. Bechuan versus June. UCal versus Yagao. Elk and On in bot lane for BLG against Wan Feng, and I don't know if they're going with Yao Yao or Xin Lu anymore, but that's the bot lane for Thunder Talk. So that's a thing that I guess I could have put on here. But nevertheless, thank you for watching, and I hope you come back for more content.